Check, check, check. Let's see. Is this one working? Live stream attempt number 700. 700. It's working. 700. It's working. Sweet. It's working. All right. We're rolling. Oh. All right. I think we got it going this time. I failed to get this live stream going literally like 7 times in a row. So I don't even know what I did, but apparently we're live. Okay, so what's up? Is that you, Demir? All right, so if you're watching this back later, this is a live stream for hitting 1,000 subscribers. And this is a really big milestone for YouTubers because this is what allows people making YouTube videos to actually start making money on their videos. And it'd be really great if I could start doing more stuff like this as opposed to working my job, which is also very inconsistent. So hopefully we can start this going as a side hustle and can continue to make videos. So yeah, I guess I'm just chilling to see if anyone else shows up. I'm gonna light up some incense. I got my guitar. I got some blue Lotus Tea. We're chilling. All right. So What's up, Puria? I don't know if anyone's in here still. It says 0, but I'm going to go ahead and talk to the people in the future who are rewatching this stream. I'll put a timestamp at the bottom that kind of takes you straight to this part since I've been hanging out for about 5 minutes. So, I don't have a very solid plan on what I want to talk about, but I have some rough ideas. So, I wanted to start with the celebration, this milestone that we're celebrating here. 1,000 subscribers. It's really cool. Not just because it's a big number, but because as a YouTuber, that is the milestone that is required for you to start making money on your videos. So I've now reached 1,000 subscribers. So for any of you who are watching this as a subscriber, thank you, because you are the reason that this is possible. I also want to do my little award ceremony speech here. I want to thank my friends, my really close friends, specifically Chris and Miracle, who have been really big supporters since I started my YouTube channel. Because, you know, when you start a YouTube channel about psychedelic stuff, you're not exactly going to be shouting it from the rooftops because it's still kind of stigmatized. And, like, for example, I have some friends who I wanted to make a trip report video with, but they ended up feeling like it was putting their job in danger, which I can understand because it's a drug, and you know, if things like that get discovered, the word of mouth will eventually make it to whoever your boss is. So I get that. So that's why I don't really tell that many people in my life about having a psychedelic YouTube channel. But I feel like now that we've gotten to 1,000 subscribers, it's kind of got more legit, I guess you could say, because now I'm going to be getting paid for these videos. And I mean, it's not what it's all about. To me, the primary thing is to form the community and to find the others. But, you know, if money wasn't at least some of the motivation, then I don't know if I would have put as much time into it. Because, you know, part of the reason I got into YouTube, besides just being passionate about the subject, is that I'm just tired of relying on a single source of income, which can go away. Um, you know, right now I'm teaching guitar lessons, and it's a really good and fulfilling job, but it's also inconsistent. And when COVID hit, you know, I lost half of my students, half of my income. And even now, just with this shifting seasons of kids going to school and taking vacations, I can lose like 4 students in a row, and that's like $200 off of my paycheck. So it's just been hard to like rely on anything. So YouTube has been part of my solution. And the ultimate goal for YouTube and jobs and things are to live a creative life. I want to be making videos, making music, and doing as much as I can of those things. So reaching this 1,000 subscriber milestone is a huge turning point to be able to do that. I'm not going to be making a lot of money. It'll probably be like $100 after like 3 months or something like that. But hey, still, it's a start. And especially because I've been doing it for 13 months with zero money. So I don't want to spend all this time talking about money, but I just kind of wanted to uh, add some context. Oh, I just saw your comment, Puria. How old are you? I'm 29. I turned 29 in April, so I was born in 1993. So, how old are you? I don't even know if you're still here. Well, let's see. 1,000 subscribers? 20? Cool. Nice. So, yeah, I've been tripping since I was 18. So, I'm part of what I want the channel to be is like a resource for someone like me, like when I was younger, because I feel like a lot of this stuff was happening to me like in my trips, and I just didn't know how to make sense of them. And so I wish, like, for example, I made this Kundalini video recently, and I really wish that something like that would have been around whenever I had my Kundalini experience, just so I would feel less like I'm going crazy. Oh, your internet sucks? Yeah, well, mine is being weird too. I'm sorry to hear that. So I don't even know if you can hear everything I'm saying, but it looks like it's just me and you, homie. And I'm also recording this for anyone who watches in the future. So let's see, what else? Um, yeah, life is feeling crazy right now. It feels like there's a big transition. Like, I'm not super into astrology, but this is definitely some stars aligning type of moment in life where a lot of full circle things are happening. You know, like stuff I've been working towards uh, for years and years is finally coming to fruition. Like one of them being this YouTube channel. I've been putting out videos like as much as I can for the last 14, 13 or 14 months. And then I finally got to this monetization thing. And recently, I haven't been able to work on videos, but that's because I've been busy doing music stuff. I play in a couple of bands, and one of those bands got the opportunity to open up to be the opening band for this band called The Fall of Troy, which is a huge deal because that is like my biggest inspiration as a teenager. And so we finally got to play a show with them, and it felt like so rewarding to finally be able to do that after like chipping away for years and years and years and years. And it felt like you would never get anywhere, but then it's all kind of happening in my life and like YouTube and music and like I'm not like famous or anything, but like stuff is starting to roll. So if you're in that position where you feel like your efforts are fruitless and that you can't get anywhere, just keep going because the ones who do get anywhere are the ones who just didn't give up. But you also have to try to improve what you're doing. You can't just do the same thing and expect different results. You got to try to keep honing your craft and uh, have like a student mindset of always learning something new because there is always something new to learn. Let's see what he said. Started smoking weed around a year. I think I'm gonna start mushrooms 4 or 5 years later. I'm not ready right now, but I love to research about it. Okay, cool. So you haven't ever tripped. Well, that's good because if you're 20 and then you want to wait a few years, that's probably the best because your brain isn't fully developed until you're like 25. I mean, you a lot of things about you are probably developed now. But like just as far as the physical side of the brain, it finishes growing when you're about 25. So that might be best to wait to do psychedelics until you're a fully developed person. And yeah, so you smoke 2 or 3 times a month. Nice. Yeah, that's a lot less than I do. uh, yeah, I have a thing for weed, but it's probably a little bit too much. Um, I got some Blue Lotus tea. this stuff is really cool. It's not psychedelic, but it's kind of just like I don't know how to explain it, man. It's like relaxing and dreamy and poetic. Whenever I drink Blue Lotus, it makes me in this like poetic mood. So I like to drink it before some of my videos. Yeah, it is cool. Um, and it has this history that goes way back with like the Egyptians. They have like depictions of Blue Lotus on their artwork and stuff in Egyptian hieroglyphs, and so it has a really interesting history. And yeah, it's really great because I play music, and one time I was making music and drinking this Blue Lotus tea, and I felt like I was just like the music was just like flowing out of me, and it felt like so pure. And the mood that this tea gives you is so like it just puts you in that expressive, poetic mood. So I'm almost done drinking it, so we'll see if I start flowing in poetry. But I'm gonna probably play some more guitar and see if a few more people show up. Recommend you read Immortal Key. Okay, that sounds cool. Um, Let me make a note of that. Immortal Key. Well, I'll look into it. Secret History of Religion. Okay, cool. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about all of that, and the Blue Lotus and music and 1,000 subscribers. Um, the thing I'm working on right now is a documentary, or not a documentary, it's a biography video about Terence McKenna. And anyone who is interested in psychedelics or does mushrooms pretty much knows about Terence McKenna, thanks to the internet. And he's, the person that popularized the term heroic dose, which is what he says. He prescribes it as 5 grams in silent darkness. I made my first trip report video about doing this heroic dose, um, even though it wasn't total silent darkness and it wasn't totally 5 grams. Still, basically the same thing, and it was one of my most strange and interesting mushroom trips. And as it turns out, that's the video that has been doing the best on my channel. And when I look at the behind the scenes, like the analytics page on YouTube, it's the reason that video has so many views on it is because people are searching for that specifically. They're searching in YouTube and Google like heroic dose and mushroom trip report. So that's why so many people have seen my mushroom trip heroic dose. Like, I think it's safe to say like half of my subscribers are from that mushroom trip report video. And I was looking up to see if there was a Terence McKenna biography on YouTube, like just a YouTube video talking about his life, kind of. And turns out that there are none. So I figured, why not be the person who makes this Terence McKenna biography? So I've been working on that, but then also really busy. And so I feel like doing this live stream is kind of filling the gap while I'm working on that. But I guess I wanted to kind of share with you guys some of the things that I was researching. Let me see what else you said. Yeah, Terrence, he is a legend. Yeah, exactly. He's kind of become immortal. Um, so I'm gonna look at my notes of the Terence McKenna video. Right now, I'm basically at the point where he did his famous experiment at La Chirera, which I feel like that could be its own video. Let me see, Terence McKenna bio. Um, one of the things that I wanted to emphasize in the Terence McKenna biography video is how basically the world needs more people like Terence McKenna, because it takes a lot of courage to be the shamanic figure and risking ridicule or people thinking that you're crazy. And that's what a lot of people don't appreciate as much about Terence McKenna, is that he really stuck his neck out, and like he could have gone with a safe, cushy academic career or become a scientist, but he chose to be the shaman who goes into these tryptamine realms and brings back beautiful words, in his case, back to the collective. And I feel like that takes a lot of courage, and not everybody is cut out to do that. And so that's kind of one of the things I want to emphasize in my biography video. Let's see what else you see. What are your good habits, from Alex? Um, well, I like to exercise. I play basketball. I like to play music a lot. I do like exercises for music. Um, I meditate, but I wouldn't say it's gotten to the point of being a total habit. But I do meditate pretty often, and I feel a huge difference in my just kind of demeanor whenever I do meditate, because I don't know, it just kind of it dims the noise levels in your brain. So I think we could use a lot of that, because of, especially in like American society. So yeah, I don't know if I have too many good habits like that. But yeah, in the Terence McKenna video, I'm going to talk about his ideas. Probably not get into them, but just kind of go over them, like the stoned ape theory, super famous. His idea of novelty theory, the eschaton at the end of time, the UFO as a shared hallucination, time wave zero, his theories on machine elves, the heroic dose, and the connection of the philosopher's stone and shamanism. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that Terence McKenna got into in his life. So I'm going to look at some of these things that I wrote. Um, the intro basically sets the scene for when Terence was born. He was born in the 1940s, which was one of the darkest times in human history. In 1945, the first atomic weapon was dropped. And 1943, though, Albert Hoffman discovered LSD, and Terence McKenna was born in 1946. So while humanity was going through its darkest time, there were also these seeds that were planted that would be kind of the seeds of a revolution of the mind. So I just think it's kind of cool when you frame it that way. Hey Tyler, how you doing? Greetings from Munich. Nice. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I'm really happy that the channel hit 1,000 subscribers, because that means I can start making money from these videos. It's not going to be a lot of money, but it's still really cool, and will hopefully mean I can keep making these videos and make it sustainable. So I've been working on like trying to get here for a really long time. So I'm excited about that. And at the same time this is happening, I just had the opportunity to open, like I play in a band, and we got to open up for this band called the Fall of Troy, which are like my teenage heroes. So I just got back from doing 2 shows with them, and so all this stuff is happening. So I'm in a very particularly good time in life. I know these don't last forever. I've had some rough times leading up to now, but right now I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. And sipping on some Blue Lotus tea, talking to my homies, the Find the Others tribe. So couldn't be better, man. I'm doing great. How are you? What do you think about reincarnation? Let me think about that. I am open to it, and I suspect that it's possible, but I just can't be sure. I can't be sure enough to say it is 100% real, but I have had these weird feelings sometimes where I feel like I resonate with a time in the past and in a place in the past that I have no connection to. Like an example is when I was really young, I was really into Japanese culture, specifically the kind of pre industrial samurai culture. And I think a lot of kids in my age group kind of did too, because of like the cartoons we watched. Dragon Ball Z was like a big thing for me, and that kind of led me into other anime and other manga, and then getting into Japanese culture. And I wanted to be cool and fight with swords and stuff, so I'd like buy katanas and put them up in my room. And I always felt this like resonance with Japanese culture and like bonsai trees. And so this is the reason I bring this up, is because I think it's possible I had a past life in feudal Japan. And then I felt that way about the 60s too. I feel like I could have been a hippie in the 60s, um, maybe even Jimi Hendrix, who knows? But I've just felt these weird resonance, like I've been in these past times before. So because of that, I'm open to the idea of reincarnation, but I just like don't know either, because like think about this too, from a practical standpoint. If there's 7 billion people now, and the population keeps growing, like how often are there like new souls being born versus how often are the old ones recycling and being reborn? Because if the population keeps growing, we're going to run out of old souls to repopulate these new bodies. So it's like, how does that work? If reincarnation is a thing, how does that work? So I don't know. I'm open to it. That sounds like your heart is peaceful. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for now, I try not to let the highs get me too high, because you'll come crashing back down again. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, I'm enjoying a moment of victory in life, especially because I was saying earlier, like the music thing. I've been playing in bands since 2007 when I was 14, and so this has been like, how many years is that? 15 years of playing music and like getting almost nowhere with it. And then something finally gives, and like chipping away all this time has actually done something. And then same with the YouTube channel, 13 months of like a slow grind. And then now I'm at 1,000. Now I can get paid for the videos. So like, that's really cool. And I would just like to encourage everybody else who has like goals that they're working towards, that just keep going and like don't stop, but also like try to be smart and clever about it. Like try to improve something, like if you're a musician, try to get better at your instrument. If you're a YouTuber, try to get better at making videos. And so like the learning and the growth never stops. And then you got to be persistent, almost to a like psycho level of not giving up, but it works. So just keep going and find what your special sauce is. For me, it's like this mix of psychedelic stuff and visionary experiences and music. So that's my special sauce. So I'm just trying to learn how to hone that and like tell these stories and tell them over and over to get better. Because the ultimate goal of the YouTube channel is that I wanted to be able to write a book. And the idea is that telling these trip reports and telling these psychedelic stories is going to help me just get better at telling the stories. And then that way I'll be able to write a better book whenever I do that. So it looks like there's some more people in here. So I'm glad y'all could join. I started like 7 different live streams, and they were all like messed up with no sound. So it's cool that this is rolling. We got some people in here. So Sending y'all lots of love. Let's see what else we got here. Have you seen Your Name anime? No, no, I haven't. It's not just about people considered animals. Okay. What do you think that would be the best politic and economic system for the world? What's the problem with the current ones? Um, I don't know what the best system is, but I think we can look at the countries that are thriving the best, which seems to be a mix of like having a free market and competition to allow things to get better, but also having a healthy amount of regulation and safety nets so that people don't get stomped out in the process, which I feel like is what we have in America is like this unchecked crony capitalism. And while competition is healthy and good, and free market, allowing people to do anything, anyone can start a business or whatever. I think that's great, but greed is left unchecked, and so I feel like we need better ways to account for the greed in our system and like people trying to make monopolies and stuff like that. So America is not doing a good job at that, but yeah, to me, I don't think any system is perfect, but I think we should try to learn from the countries like specifically Norwegian and some European countries that have figured some stuff out. And like for example, our healthcare system is trash in America. Like I've had conversations with my dad where he's like, "Yeah, if I get sick, I'm just gonna have to die because like I can't pay for that." And like that's so stupid. It like pisses me off, man. So I don't have the answer, but I think we can do better to learn from what is working in other countries. But America is just like so focused on being number one at like at what? Being number one at most expensive hospital visits. So anyway, I don't want to get too into that, but those are just some thoughts. Let's see what else we got. Tyler is underrated musician. Love your works. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna keep doing music no matter what, just because it's something in my soul that has to come out. So I appreciate that. You may remember that I wrote to you about my 4.4 gram trip. I finally understood why I felt like a little kid after that trip. It's because my inner child got hurt as a kid. I didn't fit into school. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember your name, Noah Ark. Um, that's one of the beautiful things about psychedelics is that it can get you back in touch with your inner child. I don't even think you need psychedelics to do that, but it seems to just happen by default because of that like highly imaginative state of mind that you get in. And there's also the memories that come up as a child. You might like realize, oh, this thing happened to me, and I'm still like recovering. I never really worked that out, and that's one of the most profound gifts that I think psychedelics can give us is to be able to heal ourselves as an individual. So that's beautiful. I got diagnosed with ADHD. It was really traumatic. So my inner child is really good at telling stories. So good that people just believe me. I made like a mask that was so perfect I couldn't see. Wow, that's cool. I mean, not cool, but the way that you said that is really interesting. Um, yeah, I think it's going to be different for everybody. Like how we connect to our inner child because we're all unique. You wore that mask. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that you are coming around from that. Do you have full songs, albums that we can hear on any platform? Yeah, yeah, a lot. So I play in two bands, and then yeah, it's on Spotify. So if you look up Sunrise and Ammunition, and I'll type it in the chat right here. So I know that's a lot of words. Did I spell it right? Yeah, Sunrise and Ammunition. We're on all the streaming platforms, so Spotify. We put out a new EP like just a couple months ago, so check that out. I also play in another band called Granite Hands. That's also on Spotify and all that stuff. Granite Hands, I'm a little less involved in creating the music, but I do play in that band like for concerts, and I'm starting to write stuff. Like the next Granite Hand song that comes out is gonna be with some of my stuff on it. So yeah, that would be cool too. If people from the YouTube channel check out my music and stuff, because that's to me that's my real like true calling. Like I want to make YouTube videos and music, but if it came down to one or the other, it would be music. Have you looked into the Gateway Experience meditation in the documents from the CIA? Um, the first thing, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I think I might have a clue because you mentioned the CIA. Are you talking about the thing where they basically admitted to like researching astral projection and using that stuff to like access some other dimension? Or sounds like super trippy, but it was the CIA doing it. Is that what you're talking about? All right, I'm gonna play a little bit for you guys. You have a subscriber from Iran. Nice. Yeah, you know what? I saw your name and I thought that it might be Persian because the band that I mentioned, Granite Hands, the other guitarist, the one who makes all the music, he's also Persian. So you should check that out, man. His name is Sarush. And yeah, I love Persian culture. I would really love to visit Iran someday. I don't even know if it's possible right now for someone from America to go, but yeah, I love the culture. I love Persian food. I love all the Persian people that I've met. And yeah, my good friend Sarush is also Iranian. So you should check out Granite Hands. He actually, on one of the songs called Smoke Screens, he starts the intro off with a traditional Persian instrument. It's the setar, and there's a little bit of setar in the music. So really cool stuff. I really recommend checking it out. Yes, the tapes from the Monroe Institute. Yeah, so I think I read about it, but I never really looked into the details of that. All right, I'm gonna play you guys a song that I played earlier, but no one was here. Here we go. I wouldn't know why it feels so right. It feels so cool when you're so cool. I wouldn't know why it feels so free. I feel so mean when you talk to me. I summed up everything you said, like a seed inside a bed of fertile soil. It's blossoming in time for you. I summed up everything you said, and it's floating in my head, a fertile mind. It's blossoming in time. It's blossoming. The best feeling on earth. The best feeling on earth. All right. Well, that was fun. What are your favorite artists? I have so many, so many. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to my Spotify and I'm gonna. I saved the playlist that was like my top songs of 2021, and I'm just gonna put that in the chat. But there's so many songs I like. I'm really into this Brazilian artist. His name is Lo, and then his last name is Borges. He makes amazing, like, trippy Brazilian jazz. And it's just so inspiring. It's been like my favorite thing lately. So I'm gonna find it. Okay, your top songs from 2021. Let me get this link. Share, copy link. Okay. All right. So there's a Spotify link. Yeah, I like Tame Impala. Let me look at that Spotify playlist and see what artists are in there. Lo Borges, Tame Impala, more Lo Borges and Tame Impala. Some like 60s psychedelic music, a lot of Brazilian stuff. Oh, there's this jazz drummer called Chris Dave. He's from where I live in Houston. He's like an amazing jazz drummer that's like changing the game. And his band is called Chris Dave and the Drumheads. They're really good. A lot of stuff that I listen to is just from playlists. I find these really good playlists. There's a band called Vinyl Williams that are like one of my favorite bands ever. And the guy from Vinyl Williams, he puts these really amazing playlists together. And that's where I get a lot of my music. It's from his playlists. And all right, you're heading out. Bye. See you later. Um, do you know permaculture? It sounds super familiar, but off the top of my head, I don't remember. Let me look that up. Permaculture approach to land management and settlement design. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm really into that stuff, but I just don't know anything about it. Well, yeah, I was just gonna say really quick that guy, that band, Vinyl Williams. If any of you have ever heard of the composer John Williams, he's one of the most famous like movie soundtrack makers. Like he did Star Wars, Harry Potter, Jaws, and like all these legendary soundtracks. He, the guy from Vinyl Williams, is John Williams' grandson, and he makes like this awesome psychedelic music. I'm actually gonna link you guys to Vinyl Williams' YouTube channel because I think more people need to know about this band. And another fun fact is Vinyl Williams. I filmed an interview with Vinyl Williams, and that was the very first YouTube video that I ever made. And we just had this like super psychedelic conversation. And yeah, so here's the Vinyl Williams YouTube channel. Highly recommend that y'all check that out. And then Alex, you said I recommend you my playlist if you like psychedelic music. Yeah, go ahead and send that over, man. Put it in the chat. I would love to check it out. So yeah, we're just chilling. We got a few more people in here now. I think we'll probably go for like another 10, 15 minutes. Just keep hanging out. I'm almost finished with my Blue Lotus Tea. I'm feeling nice, feeling chillin. Um, and yeah, so if anyone has any questions, fire away. I know y'all have kind of been doing that already, but I actually made a post about like, hey, send some questions, and I did it on my YouTube tab thing, and then I did it in the Discord, but nobody actually submitted any questions. So I figured if I just did the live stream, some people would ask. So some of y'all have already, but yeah, I would really like to focus on the questions. If anybody has anything they want to know, it could literally be about anything. This is a Reddit AMA. Ask me anything. Looks like we got a question. What do you think about mushroom cultivation or shroom cultivation, gourmet and psychedelic? I really want to get into it. I'm actually plotting with one of my friends to grow mushrooms, and I'd be down to grow any kind of mushroom, but yeah, specifically psilocybins, and that's something I really want to get into, but it just seems like a lot to start, and it costs money. So time and money are things that I don't have an abundance of, but I think it would be worth it in the end. And yeah, I would be super down to grow other like medicinal or food edible mushrooms. Like I was doing the Paul Stamets mushroom stack where I was doing like microdosing psilocybin and then eating lion's mane mushroom. And I felt like that was pretty cool. So I'd love to grow something like that. Basically, any of the mushrooms that are in like Paul Stamets supplements are all the like beneficial mushrooms. So yeah, I'm super pro mushroom cultivation. So I really want to get into it. First buy a grow kit. That's how I started and got into agar transfers. Cool. Yeah. No, I do plan on getting a kit and like the tub and all that stuff. So I actually have a friend who I met from the channel, and he lives in the same area. So I'm gonna meet up with him actually this week, and I think he's gonna show me some of the mushrooms that he grew. And I plan on hitting up this same friend to teach me how to start growing mushrooms. So yeah, I don't know if I should be saying this publicly, but whatever. I grow Mazatepix B plus GT. What does B plus GT mean? Is that just like a strain? Have genetics from PE? Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's probably the one I'm gonna grow too. I would love to grow golden teachers and PE. Yeah, yeah, for sure. They'd had a okay, cool, got you. So, oh, GT is golden teacher. Now I get it. So I don't know if you guys watch like Hamilton Morris, but he did a YouTube video recently where he actually like investigated the origin of the person who made the penis envy mushroom. Because I thought it was just kind of like a fancy strain or something, but no, PE is like the most powerful, potent strain of mushrooms. And the person that invented that strain did that on purpose. He cultivated a super powerful mushroom, and it's super interesting. Yeah, if you go to Hamilton Morris's YouTube channel, he has an interview with the guy who made those mushrooms, and he's an interesting guy. Let's just say that. You're gonna be so excited when you get your first pens. Yeah. Okay, Noah, you've seen that video. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited to do the mushroom thing. Maybe I should document it, but I know that there's legal issues. I think I'm just gonna stay low key about it and then just not tell too many people, even though I'm telling y'all right now. It's not that many people. Um, because yeah, I live in Texas and super illegal here still. So we'll see how all that turns out. Yeah. If anybody in here just hopped in recently, a little further back in the chat, I put a Spotify playlist of all my top songs from 2021. There's a lot of psychedelic stuff and Brazilian stuff, so that's my like biggest inspiration. Got some new chats. Congratulations on 1K subs from Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your subscription and all your comments and your support. And it's really cool to meet people who are not just taking psychedelics, but are interested in these very like specific corners of this realm. You know, like Kundalini or the collective unconscious or like these symbols that appear. Like that's the stuff that really interests me, and that's why I wanted to start this channel. Is because like you can find people who like to take psychedelics. Maybe they go to a lot of festivals, but it's also very rare to find people who are really into the specific stuff and they're obsessed with it in the way that I am. So this channel has been a really cool way to connect with other people like yourself. And I'm happy that we reached 1,000. Like, it's a super cool milestone. Pretty hair, dig your heels. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. the The secret is to not wash it every single day with shampoo. Um, and then when you do wash it, don't make it too hot. Oh no, I'm late. Oh, what's up, Jay? Yeah, I'm probably gonna keep going for a little while, but you can always replay it. Let's see what else we got here. We got some comments rolling in. Just stay low key. Maybe get into fermentation, like making trums and simple lacto ferments from fruits. That's a good idea. Yeah, like have something to kind of cover it up. I made kefir before, so and sauerkraut. I've made sauerkraut, so I've done stuff like that. Congrats, Kaleidoscope Eyes. Hey, what's up? Congrats on 1K. So exciting. Totally relate to everything you're saying. Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you could join. I just watched your video earlier. I think it was last night or today about the one you did recently. Oh yeah, tripping alone versus tripping with other people, and I've been pondering that heavily. So anyone who's in the chat right now, check out the channel Kaleidoscope Eyes with the 3 in it. She just wrote a comment. Really good up and coming YouTube channel. Highly recommend. Cheryl says, "You're fantastic, and I love learning about everything you discuss." Thank you. That's super nice. I'm learning a lot of this stuff. I'm learning when I'm doing research for the videos, but a lot of it is kind of like this gradual stuff that I've built from researching and like trying to learn. I'm doing the best I can because this is very murky grounds. Like it's all kind of new territory. It's interesting because we're kind of like the second wave. If you think of like the 60s as like the pioneers, we're the ones kind of like picking up the pieces of what they discovered, like Terence McKenna and all these people. And we're kind of like trying to take it to that next level. So it's going to be interesting what we discover about consciousness and the psychedelic realm. And I think in our lifetimes, there's probably going to be some really crazy discoveries. Like, what if they find out that DMT is a portal to an alien dimension or something like that? I mean, I'm not counting on it, but anything could happen. The universe is strange enough without DMT, so I wouldn't count it out for something really weird to be going on behind the scenes of the universe. Let's see. I would also value the mushrooms that grow naturally. Yeah. Hey Tyler, I just wanted to say I listened to the Tesseract album the other week and loved it. How's the band doing? Any new projects in the works? Hey, yeah, I'm glad to hear that you checked out the album. We made that a really long time ago, but we actually did put out a new EP just a few months ago. So if you look that up, the EP is called Triangulum, and we just put out some new songs. We're writing new songs. I live with the drummer of my band, so we're still doing stuff. So yeah, check it out. If you're on social media, it's there. If not, we're on all the streaming platforms, all that stuff. And the band's doing great. Thanks for asking. It can all get a bit nerdy and macho with the growing business. Oh yeah, that's why I heard like the shroomery, that forum is like super toxic. So I don't know. I don't want to have anything to do with all of that macho business. During a journey, I had a vision of the Orion Belt and a couple stars below, and I'm still curious why. That's interesting. What if the mushroom is like an alien that's from there, and they're like trying to show you this is my home? Star Child. Are you also into entomology and insects? They're very alien-like. That's a good point. Yeah, I think I'm open to learning more about that. Yeah, because there's some weird connection with like aliens and insects. And I don't know if you guys have ever read True Hallucinations by Terence McKenna. It's like my favorite book ever. But basically, he like said that the mushroom intelligence, whatever alien entity that was like this 8 foot tall bug or something wild like that. So, and I don't remember the channel, but I saw this Trip Report channel where this guy did DMT or mushrooms, and then he went into a realm where it was like some kind of cosmic beehive, and like he met this entity that had like kept track of how many bugs that he killed, and then he like got rewarded because he was like nice to the bugs, and like they're keeping tabs on how many bugs they kill, and there's some kind of like karma in this like other dimension for that. It was wild, but that's why I love this stuff, dude. It gets so weird. Um, let's see what else we got. Just came back from a camping trip, so that recent video became pretty relevant. So much I have to come back to talk about. Thanks for the shout out. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm always wanting to look forward to, or I'm always wanting to hear what your thoughts are on all that stuff. And I just commented on your video about tripping alone that like I feel like I don't get to trip alone enough, and when I do uh, trip with other people, the most like important moments are those like 30 minutes or whatever less time that I get to be alone, and like I find I have these revelations like when I'm going to the bathroom or something. It's like the only time I'm not around other people and like subject to their energy, which can be good, it can be bad, but like regardless, you're still um, on this interpersonal exchange. And like, yeah, when you trip solo, it allows you to fully explore wherever your mind is going to go, as opposed to like, well, I want to make this person happy, or we're doing this together, so I can't just like disappear. But if you set that expectation beforehand, like, hey, I might like slip off and go into the room and put some headphones on. Like, I think there's probably like a middle way or a balance where you can get both aspects out of a trip. But also tripping alone just by itself would be great. I need to do that more. What might happen is that they find that we as humans are quantum fields and animals don't have that. Only those who are in close contact to us, like dogs and cats. That would be interesting, yeah, but I think we should be cautious of like making humans the special ones. I think we're underestimating the rest of nature. Because if you think on the other flip side of that, in psychedelic states, something inanimate can take on what feels like life and consciousness and awareness. It feels like that rocks are conscious. And this is like an animist view of reality. So I don't know if that's the truth, but yeah, I'm open to it. True hallucinations. It's very familiar to the alien-like things I was encountering with my mushroom machine. Oh, dang. Okay. I'm excited. I want to hear about that. I feel safe in the bathroom despite the mirror. Yeah, I've only had like good experiences with mirrors on psychedelics. Like the first time I took acid was after my Kundalini awakening. I looked in the mirror and it looked weird, but I was like feeling so good that I was like, cool. And then the last time I took mushrooms was a year ago, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you're a pretty cool guy. Like just kind of showing myself some love and like something that I don't do often, really, and not in an egotistical way, but like a genuine like self like love. And I think that was a really beneficial thing. Like I was looking in the mirror and I was like, I love this guy. So that's a beautiful thing. Um, I think about that when I'm killing ants in my garden. I'm starting to feel bad about the massacres. Yeah, well, it's a tough one because it's like, yeah, maybe sometimes we can avoid killing insects, but then there's other times where it's like, yeah, you're in the wrong place or at the wrong time. Or like, if a wasp is trying to hurt you, then maybe you can kill it. I don't know, like, because it's one of those things where it's like nature doesn't have the same morals as us. Like, it's weird because it's like if nature was truly moral, then we would like. Here's something that I wonder, like, because we talk about the brutality of nature and like how you think about like a lion eating like a baby animal of like some other species, and it's like that's imagine if that was your baby or something like that would be the worst nightmare possible, and it's like that is immoral to humans, but in nature that's just like people or like animals are starving, so it's like they're just doing what is in their instinct. And but then it makes you wonder, like, if we gave dog food to every single lion in the prairie, like, would they still need to eat other animals? So it's like, I don't know. This is kind of a side tangent, but just some of my thoughts. Let's see what else we got here. My first mushroom journey in the 80s, I had a vision of a council of tribal elders in the bathroom, and they showed me melting glaciers and dying polar bears, which didn't make sense to me. Whoa, that's crazy. So that was some premonition stuff of like climate change before it really became known. because I know that it's only in the last like 10 years or so that climate change has kind of been accepted. And by climate change, I also mean like destruction of ecosystems and things like that. How often do you use psychedelics? Good question. Normally, it's about 2 or 3 times a year. So it's when it's close together, it's like maybe every 2 months. But on average, it's like every 3 to 4 months. But for whatever reason, just because I think I've been so busy in my life, I actually haven't tripped in a year. That mushroom trip I was just talking about, where I like saw myself in the mirror and I was like giving myself love, that was my last trip, and that was like a year ago. But I think it's okay because I've been integrating a lot of the stuff that's happened in my past experience through making these videos and stuff. So I feel like it's not like I'm losing any progress, but if anything, I'm just like integrating more, and that way I feel like I'll deserve the next trip more. Because honestly, the psychedelics have gave me so much downloads to work with that it's like if I haven't properly like integrated that into my life, then why should I get to experience it again? And I also have this weird thing where I'm kind of like keeping track of my age and like where the Beatles were at that time in their life. And so like when the Beatles were like 26 and 27, they were like taking all this acid and stuff. But then the year after that, when they were 28, is when they got into meditation and then they like stopped taking psychedelics. And so I kind of wanted to follow that same path just cause I'm in the same age of my life. And it's not that I didn't want to trip. I'm actually like so ready to trip again. So I've been trying to get this 4-HO MET stuff from my friends, but it's been kind of hard to meet up with them and just been working a lot. So all those factors, but yes, I will trip soon. And on average, it's usually 3 or 4 times a year. Nature doesn't care one way or another, it just is. Yeah, that's a hard thing to wrap our head around because we're mammals and we're like emotional creatures. So we feel things very deeply. I don't think you can lose progress with psychedelics. Perhaps linear time is an illusion anyway. Yeah, yeah, I don't think that you can either, but I think that maybe you can get out of touch with the psychedelic realm, and that's kind of more what I'm talking about, like getting out of touch with the lessons that I learned from the psychedelic realm, stuff like that. I guess is what I mean by losing progress. What do I think of 1V, like 1V LSD? Um, I don't know if I've had that before. I've tried 1P LSD, and it was good. It was good. I liked it. 27 and 28. Would you think the change of the Beatles' approach to spiritual work is related to a possible Saturn return that usually happens around that time in life? Yeah, I don't know enough about the astrology to comment on that, but I think with the Beatles, it was more of like them just overdoing it with substances in general. Also, they were tripping very often at extremely large doses, and this is before they knew about set and setting and things like that. So I think they were getting a little carried away. And I do remember hearing that, like, John Lennon in particular was like, had like an ego death, like bad trip ego death. And he was like not himself anymore. But I think luckily for them, they had strong enough egos to where they could recover, but still, like, stuff was never the same, and they probably did need to stop. But yeah, I feel like that's different in my case as it is in theirs. So, not sure. Does anyone have any questions? Anything else? Now we got the most people in here that have been here the whole time. We got nine. But find the others. guess since we have a few more people in here, um, I just want to thank y'all individually if you're subscribed to the channel, because we hit 1,000 subs. This is an awesome milestone. Um, it will mean that I can continue making videos and like eventually get paid. I'm not expecting to make a lot of money, but even like a little bit is going to help and like get me to keep making videos and make it a sustainable thing. Because I'm putting a lot of time into these videos, and it's really cool to finally get some kind of like tangible reward for that. And I've been really busy doing like band stuff. I play in a couple bands, and we just had like a little mini tour of like 2 days. And so I'm driving back and forth from Houston to Austin, like to rehearse and like do all that stuff. So I haven't been able to make a video, but I am working on the Terence McKenna biography, because I looked up to see if there's any Terence McKenna biography videos, and it turns out there aren't. So I figured I would be the person to make it. So I've been working on that, but it's just taken a little while. So I've wanted to do this live stream as like a celebration, and also as like something that kind of hold you guys off for a little while. I keep working on this video. After this live stream, I'm going to keep working on it. But hey, what's up? I think we're almost coming to a close, but I don't know, because we got more people in here now. So I'm just talking about, yeah, I'm making this Terence McKenna biography video, and it's been really cool to get an in-depth kind of view of this person who inspired a lot of people. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I think this is probably a good time to just about wrap it up. But if anyone has any other questions they want to throw at me before we go, I'm down to do a few more. Yeah, hoping to do Terrence's memory proud, definitely. I've been sipping on this Blue Lotus tea. I don't know if any of y'all have tried it, but it's really wonderful. It like puts you in this poetic state. I don't know how to describe it. Like I'm feeling really relaxed and like light and peaceful, and like there's something zen about it. I love it. How do you think knowledge of Jungian ideas influence your trips? Oh yeah, I think that the biggest thing that involves, that's such a badass question, that's like what I live for, man. Um, I think the biggest thing, first of all, is the idea of the collective unconscious. I think that a lot of this stuff that's coming to me in my trips are coming from outside of me in some way, because it's stuff that I don't know. It's like images and symbols that are in my head that I've seen them before, but during these trips the symbols become important, and I see things like alchemy and symbols for Rosicrucianism, which was like an occult group in Europe like 400 years ago. And so stuff like that, I just can't imagine that it would just pop up in my brain for no reason. So my biggest suspicion is that the collective unconscious is where these things are coming from. Same with the Kundalini experience, like this whole energy rising up the chakras. I think that that is somehow built into every human, and maybe this experience of Kundalini is related to the collective unconscious somehow. And then a lot of the other stuff that the young ideas influence is just kind of like after the trips. I might have dreams. Like after my first acid trip, I was having like anima dreams, which Carl Jung basically describes the anima as like, for a man or a masculine oriented person, it's their inner feminine quality, and it's related to like your creativity and your soul. And so I feel like tapping into that has been a big benefit to my life. So yeah, there's a lot of ways that Carl Jung's ideas influence the trips for sure. Well, guys, yeah, if nobody has any more questions, I think it's a good time to wrap this up. It's about an hour and 15 minutes. We'll be able to replay the video if y'all want to see anything you missed. Uh, Jay has one more question. I was going to ask you if you think you have encountered an archetypal being. Yeah, definitely, definitely. One of the biggest archetypes that I've had thousands of anima dreams, and the other one is the Cynics, which is like the old man, like the wise old man archetype. Which in my dream, the Cynics appeared as like an old musician from the 70s who was like on the side of the stage and like helping me. And there was actually a time that Cornel West was in my dream. I had a dream that I was like some kind of political refugee. Like I said something that like got me in trouble, and that I was Cornel West was the one who like took me in, and I was like in his apartment in New York, and he was like protecting me and like giving me advice. And that's like the archetypal figure of the cynics that Carl Jung talks about. So that was really cool. So yeah, mostly the anima and the cynics archetypes. And then Vern said, "Blessings, keep up the good work." Thanks a lot. I super appreciate that. Thanks for everyone tuning in. And I don't know you that well, but I love you. And I'll see y'all. I'll hopefully be doing some more live streams. I got this camera upgrade. I hooked up my phone, and it looks a lot better than my other shitty webcam. So that's nice. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. Peace, everyone.